Welcome to Speed Sport live from the 2023 Progressive King of the Hammers powered by Optima batteries. I am here alongside with Dave Arnold and our 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified Class winner, Mr. Duane Garretson. How are you today?
I'm great, Pam. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How was your race for you? Obviously, you're first in your class, but did you have any problems out there on race course today?
No major problems. You know, the co-driver had to get out a couple times to pull cable, but we didn't have any flats on course, so we changed one in the pits, so it was really just a pretty good trail ride.
Well, that's good. I mean, obviously you did really good. The pretty good is kind of like minute compared to amazing winning it. So the course this year, what was your feelings on it? Did you like the desert section being super fast, or how do you feel about the course this year?
Man, to me, it's just like every other course. You know, we only get to come out here once a year, so, you know, it's just a lot of high-speed desert and a whole bunch of rocks. And this year, I think it was more rocks than it's ever been and a little bit less desert. So, I mean, you know, we just we come out a couple of days early and we pre-ran as much as we could. And the map was really not that great. So, you know, we made more U-turns in the desert trying to get our fouls good, you know, more than we ever had. But, you know, it all worked out. I mean, we stayed on track. We missed a turn or two today, but overall, it turned out good.
Obviously, it turned out good. Dave?
Well, I mean, I was talking to Jeremy earlier. He won the 4800 class, and, you know, overall for right now, unofficial. But he talked about, you know, a little like a rock jumped up in the desert, and then he talked about where he had to winch over there at Sledgehammer. Anything in your mind like that you had really stuck out, like, oh, crap, this is going to screw my day up?
No, I mean, in years past, you know, like last year we came out here and we led the race for like virtually 4 hours. And then we broke an axle and we had a few tire issues, you know. So this year I was just super conscious about trying to slow down a little bit and miss all those rocks that we had hit last year.
Now, the 4500 class, so a lot different than the 4800s, because the 4800s are basically the original hammer class, or the 4400s are. Mm-hmm. You get a little bit less power, right? Little stock stuff involved there.
I think the biggest advantage that the 4800 cars have over our cars is the full hydraulic steering and the trailing arms.
Not the manual steering, because you really got to start fighting with the manual.
You have arm pump for sure.
Pump, yeah. You're out there with the hydraulics, just cruising through the rocks.
Right, yeah. You know, and I feel like the trailing arms, you know, our shocks have to be mounted to the axle, and they have trailing arms. So, you know, a 14-inch travel shock, they're limited to just like we are, but they're still in enough with 20 to 25 inches of rear wheel travel. So they can, you know, they can outrun us in the desert, you know, comfortably. So we're just trying to hang in there and eat the dust. Sometimes you just got to ride the edge.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, this year was a little bit different in qualifying. Normally we qualify over here in the short course that's behind us, and, you know, we use Means Butte as one of the mountains that you guys come down. How do you compare the qualifying this year up at Chocolate Thunder compared to the normal past years of qualifying?
Man, it's really hard to say. I mean, the qualifying course was, you know, a phenomenal course, but there was definitely two lines, you know, and there was a fast line on the left if you could make it. If you couldn't make it, you know, then obviously it wasn't so fast. And then there was, you know, more of a conservative line on the right. And we decided that, you know, if we could take the right-hand line and end up in the top 25 overall out of the 157 racers that were in the EMC, then we'd be happy. And it went really well. We finished qualified third in class and 13th overall, and we finished third, you know, unofficially overall. So, you know, we passed 10 cars. It feels really good.
So which line did you take? Did you take the right line?
Yeah, we took the pivot right. You know, we just wanted to be conservative. We wanted to have a good time, and we weren't worried about winning it, you know. I didn't want all the fast guys in the desert pushing us, you know, so we would make mistakes.
Right.
So I just thought, you know, if we can be somewhere in the top 20 to 30%, then, you know, we can do this.
It was definitely unique having it up there at Chocolate Thunder this year, and so many people had so many issues and having to get out and winch during qualifying. And then we saw passing on qualifying at some point too. That's never been heard of.
No, and Dave mentioned, you know, that if somebody gets hung up, we're sending the next car.
Right.
He said, so get ready. And, you know, there was a few situations where they either, you know, gave cars opportunities to run it again or stick with the time they had, you know. So he tried to make it as fair as he could. But, you know, I'm sure it affected some people negatively and some people positively. So it's just, you know, that's just qualifying.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, is with the, you know, the sledge or jack and all that, any issues over there? Did you have to winch in any sections there? Or was it like, hey, man, I'm picking that easy line? You know, I'm not going to say it's easy, but one was shorter, one was longer. Some have bigger boulders.
Well, I felt like Sledge is a harder trail, but it's definitely shorter.
Yeah.
So we pre-ran Sledge, and when we were in Sledge, there were so many fans and spectators that were wheeling it that we went ahead and winched the hardest part because we had 10 cars ahead of us. Today, the car was working phenomenal, and we pulled the front tires up on it, and I smashed the throttle, and that limitless performance engine went straight to the top.
And that's where you said you have to gamble a little bit, put it on the edge.
Yeah, we didn't winch it all on sledge, so it was super cool.
What an incredible feeling, though, too, to know that you had to do it a certain way in pre-running and all that, and then all of a sudden you pop it up there, and it's like, hey, I made the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game time decision, and the Yokohama tires hooked up and got us where we needed to be. So Jeremy was super stoked. He didn't have to get out, and I was super stoked that, we picked up a minute or two over some of the other competitors.
Yeah, definitely was awesome to see you up here today in the #1 spot. A fun race day for you. You said your car was working great, but we're going to let you go so you can go celebrate with your team and have some fun. So everybody at home, thank you so much. This is Speed Sport Live from the 2023 Progressive King of the Hammers, powered by Optima Batteries.